Can a cube that does not last for any time at all have a real existence?
Wow, yeah. That question from H.G. Wells' The Time Machine just throws you right in, doesn't it?
It really does. It forces you to think about time completely differently than just, ticking seconds.
Well, that's exactly what the time traveler character does. He argues that real objects don't just have length, breadth, and thickness.
Right, the three spatial dimensions we all know.
Exactly. He says they also have duration, a fourth dimension, time. And our consciousness, well, it moves along this dimension.
It's a huge idea.
Huh.
And to help unpack it, we're looking at insights from Mindful Moments.
Yeah, that's a fascinating YouTube channel. It uses AI analysis to look into books like this one. Really gets you thinking critically about the deeper meanings.
It's interesting how his guests react in the story. The psychologist, Philby, they're skeptical.
Completely. And the very young man seems just lost, while the mayor is sort of politely nodding along.
It really shows how mind-bending this idea of time as a dimension you could potentially move through. Well, how radical it was. Right. It still is, maybe.
I think so. And that's something Mindful Moments might highlight, how tied we are to what we can immediately see and touch.
Like we experience three dimensions because we move around in them easily enough.
Mm-hmm. So the time traveler suggests our view of time as just flowing one way might be, well, a limitation. Just how we experience it because we're carried along.
He wasn't just making it all up either, was he? He mentioned mathematicians thinking about 4 dimensions.
Yeah, at all. He brings up Professor Simon Newcomb, a real person who actually was exploring geometries beyond 3 dimensions.
Ah, okay. So Wells was tapping into real scientific discussions of the era.
Definitely. It grounds the concept, makes it feel less like pure fantasy and more like speculative science, pushing the boundaries of known ideas, like Newcomb trying to explain 3D to a 2D being.
And that analogy with the weather record, the barometer reading changing over time.
Oh, that's clever, yeah.
He says the line traced by the mercury isn't moving through space, so it must be moving through time.
It's a neat way to visualize it, to see duration as a kind of path.
It works. But then the medical man asks the obvious question.
The practical one, right. If it's a dimension, why can't we just zip around in it?
Yeah, why are we stuck going one way?
And the traveler's answer about gravity is pretty good, actually. We move easily side to side, but fighting gravity to go straight up is hard work.
So maybe moving through time is like that. We naturally drift one way, but moving differently requires something else.
Precisely. It requires his invention. His great discovery, as he puts it.
He talks about memory, too. Like a quick, uncontrolled jump back.
Yeah, like a glimpse, but you can't stay there. He compares us to a savage who can jump but can't really fly.
But he thinks civilization, with technology like balloons beating gravity, maybe it could conquer time travel, too.
That's the leap he makes. The ambition to travel indifferently in any direction of space and time. That's the core of it.
And his guests' reactions are so telling. Speculating about money.
Or just outright disbelief from the psychologist. It covers the basis of how people react to something totally new.
Then he shows them the model, the little time machine.
And poof, it vanishes.
That must have been quite a moment at the dinner table.
It's the proof of concept, meant to stun them into considering it's real, although the psychologist immediately wonders if it went into the past.
Which, as maybe Mindful Moments would point out, opens up a whole can of worms, doesn't it? Paradoxes and all.
Oh, absolutely. If it went into the past, shouldn't it have been there before it vanished? It gets complicated fast.
Okay, so fast forward a week. The time traveler reappears, but he's a wreck.
Yeah, torn clothes, cuts, exhausted. Not the triumphant return you might expect.
It signals immediately that wherever he went, it wasn't simple. Or maybe safe.
Definitely not safe. His silence at first just builds the tension. Everyone's waiting.
And the story he tells. It's incredible. Time speeding up, days flashing by.
The sun and moon streaking across the sky, buildings rising and falling like plants growing. It's a dizzying image of accelerated history.
He sees the world change dramatically before he stops.
And his first impression of the future, 802,701 AD, is, well, it seems beautiful at first.
Look at Garden World, right? Huge buildings, lush plants, no weeds, gentle people.
Almost Edenic. It taps into that Victorian idea of progress leading to a kind of perfected world. But
there's always a but.
Exactly. As analysis like you find on Mindful Moments or in discussions like ours often explores, that surface appearance is deceptive.
He meets the Eloi, these beautiful, small, sort of fragile people.
They seem innocent, living simple lives in this apparent paradise, but there's something off.
Yeah, they lack curiosity, so seem easily tired, almost vacant.
And the buildings are grand, but also decaying. It hints that this isn't a utopia in its prime, it's something else.
And then he discovers the Morlocks.
Ah, yes. The dark side. Literally. Living underground, tending machines, ape-like, fearing the light.
It's this horrifying class divide taken to an evolutionary extreme. The gentle surface dwellers and the subterranean workers.
It's a powerful, disturbing image. Wells is clearly critiquing the social structures of his own time, projecting them forward. What seemed like progress led to this profound split.
And the Eloi aren't just masters, are they? They seem afraid of the dark, afraid of the Morlocks.
It slowly dawns on him that the Eloi are essentially cattle, raised by the Morlocks for food. It completely flips the initial utopian impression.
That's chilling, and then he loses the time machine.
Panic sets in. He's trapped. He has to confront the Morlocks in their tunnels, the need for fire, for weapons. It becomes pure survival.
Amidst all this, there's Weena, the Eloi he saves.
That relationship is quite touching, actually. It shows a spark of connection, affection, even in this strange, degraded future. She represents a flicker of something human.
But she doesn't survive the journey back to find the machine.
No, her death is tragic. It underlines the danger and the loss inherent in this future. He escapes, but not unscathed, emotionally or physically.
But he doesn't stop there, does he? He travels even further, millions of years.
Into the really deep future, and it's bleak.
A dying Earth, a huge, red, swollen sun, stillness.
And strange creatures, like giant crabs or something, settling on the beaches. The end of almost all life.
It's a vision of entropy, isn't it? The ultimate heat death of the planet, or close to it.
It puts humanity's entire existence into a vast cosmic perspective, makes it seem very small, very temporary.
So bringing it back to the start, that idea of time as a fourth dimension, his whole journey is the proof, the experience of moving through it.
It is. And the futures he sees, the Eloi Morlock world, the dying planet, they serve as these stark warnings or possibilities.
And looking at these narratives, like Mindful Moments and Courages, or through explorations like this one, really pushes you to think about where our own society might be headed.
Absolutely. What are the consequences of our social divisions, our relationship with technology and nature? Wells used this journey through time to ask those questions about his present, and they still resonate.
The flowers Weena gave him, the ones he brings back, that's such a potent symbol.
Proof of his journey, yes, but also a fragile reminder of beauty and connection found millions of years in the future against this backdrop of decline. It's quite poignant.
Well, if this journey through time and thought has got you thinking, please do subscribe for more explorations like this.
And share it with someone you know who enjoys these kinds of thought experiments.
We've also put a link in the show notes if you want to grab a copy of H.G. Wells' Time Machine and experience the original story yourself.
Definitely worth the read. But most importantly, keep questioning. Think critically about time, the future, and the paths we might be on.